Welcome to Hero Villains. Who do you think would win when Ultraman vs. Hyperion Light of Justice or Shadow of Ambition? Ultraman is one of the oldest and most powerful heroes in the DC universe, first appearing in All-Star Comics 8, published by DC Comics. He is the evil version of Superman from Earth 3 and a core member of the Crime Syndicate. Unlike Superman, who absorbs energy from the yellow sun, Ultraman depends on Kryptonite to increase his power. He possesses super strength enough to lift an entire city, near light speed movement, flight, heat vision, and nearly indestructible durability. Hyperion is a cosmic warrior of Marvel Comics, often regarded as a counterpart to Superman. Some versions belong to the Squadron Supreme, while others exist within the Marvel multiverse as the last surviving being after the collapse of their world. Despite carrying the identity of a hero, Hyperion always bears the loneliness of one who stands far above humanity. Before we dive deeper into the analysis, please press the subscribe button and remember to turn on notifications by clicking the bell icon. Thank you very much. Ultraman was not a hero born in a normal way, but a product of ambition and hatred. Behind his existence stands Lex Luthor, the one who created a perfect clone of Superman with the sole purpose of destroying and replacing his longtime rival within the organization Planet Watch. To conceal his identity, he wore a fully enclosed suit of armor and called himself the Hammer of Boravia, a symbol of cold strength and absolute obedience. In his first plan, Ultraman defeated Superman, causing the symbol of hope of Metropolis to fall. When given the authority to deliver the final blow to his enemy, Luthor did not hesitate to push the entire city into a brutal confrontation. Two beings sharing the same power clashed beneath the blazing sky of Metropolis, each punch echoing like thunder, each building trembling under the shockwaves. But Luthor never accepted defeat. While Superman was busy stopping the war between Boravia and Jarhanpur, he secretly forged a new suit of armor for the Hammer of Boravia. Equipped with superior power, Ultraman returned, and for the first time since his appearance, he crushed Superman to the point of broken bones and internal injuries. The hero had to retreat to the Fortress of Solitude to recover. Ultraman exists as a warrior programmed for absolute obedience. In front of Lex Luthor, he never argues, never hesitates, and never questions. Every command is carried out with cold seriousness. As a clone of Superman, he inherited enduring willpower and a strong sense of responsibility. However, limited intelligence turned those qualities into chains that bind him. This weakness allowed Luthor to easily manipulate him. Ultraman has no personal life and no independent voice. He appears before the public under the title The Hammer of Boravia, reading only pre-written words in an artificial, dry, and soulless tone. When there is no script, he falls into silence. In battle, the only sound that escapes his throat is a fierce growl. It is not the sound of a hero, but the echo of a chained soul. Mental instability makes him completely dependent on remote instructions from Luthor. Every tactical decision and every movement requires a guiding voice. When that signal is cut off, Ultraman becomes disoriented in the vast battlefield. The power remains, but strategy collapses and his reactions slow. That dependence becomes a fatal weakness. Ultraman possesses the full physical abilities of a Kryptonian. Although flaws in the cloning process left him with low intelligence and minor physical mutations, his superhuman capabilities ensure that he remains a deadly threat. Ultraman exists like a living reactor, absorbing light from the yellow sun and converting it into an almost limitless source of energy. His body functions like a massive battery, storing radiation and releasing it as power. As a clone of Superman, he not only holds similar abilities, but at times even forces his original into a defensive position. Ultraman's physical strength is enough to lift and throw a truck as if it were only a toy. He defeated Superman in a brutal manner, forcing the symbol of hope to experience defeat. In the final confrontation at the space-time rift, he even nearly finished off his opponent. Each punch that landed was not merely a collision of muscles, but the explosive echo of two solar energy sources crashing into each other within a trembling void. His speed is equal to Superman. When combined with flight, Ultraman can cross the sky in the blink of an eye, pursuing targets to the very edge of the atmosphere. He once caught up with Superman at the boundary of space when his opponent attempted to remove the engineered nanobots from his body. Gravity holds almost no meaning in his presence. His dense molecular structure and powerful electromagnetic field make Ultraman nearly immune to most conventional forms of attack. He fell from the upper atmosphere to the ground and still rose only seconds after Superman, despite having no support from nanotechnology. Even with his arm broken, he continued charging into battle, his eyes blazing like a burning star. In Ultraman, power is not merely an ability, but a storm of solar energy compressed within a tireless body. Ultraman's strength lies not only in muscle or speed. From his glowing eyes, he can unleash devastating heat beams hot enough to injure even Superman. In a ruthless moment, he used that very energy to burn his own genetic duplicate, leaving scorched red marks around his opponent's eye sockets. Ultraman hearing is also extraordinary. When Eve Teschmacher secretly contacted Jimmy Olsen inside the Luthor Corp server area, even the faintest sound could not escape him. A single secret call was enough to lead to her discovery and capture. For Ultraman, distance and thick concrete walls are meaningless obstacles. He demonstrates superior hand-to-hand combat skills. Trained in a system of numbered strikes designed and pre-programmed by Lex Luthor, Ultraman unleashes continuous attacks with chilling precision. He reads Superman movement rhythm, forces his opponent into a defensive stance, and becomes the first to defeat that symbol in a direct battle. Every motion appears calculated in advance. Yet, his weakness lies within that very system. Overly dependent on remote instructions, Ultraman loses direction when the guiding signal disappears. When Krypto destroyed the camera system that Luthor used to control battlefield tactics, his confidence collapsed. Facing a seasoned Superman, Ultraman was quickly overwhelmed. Amid the smoke-filled battlefield, he realized that raw power alone is not enough to secure victory without independent will. Ultraman possesses durable armor. Made from an unknown metal, the suit can withstand Superman punches and allows Ultraman to fire powerful laser beams. However, it is not constructed from Kryptonian fibers and can, in fact, be destroyed. The armor is equipped with a live broadcast system to Luthor, as well as communication technology that allows Luthor to issue commands to Ultraman. Made from an unknown metal, the suit can withstand Superman punches and enables Ultraman to unleash powerful laser beams. I truly hope you will. Subscribe to the channel, it would help us very much, and you are the greatest. Thank you very much. Now let us talk about Hyperion. Marcus Milton, also known as Hyperion, is an Eternal who carries the memories of a lost world. His home, Earth 13034, was erased in a brutal invasion. From the ashes of that former reality, he was brought to Earth 616. There, Hyperion joined the Avengers. Not only is he a warrior whose power rivals that of a god, he also became a spiritual pillar for the children of the Sunday. Amid fierce battles and heavy responsibility, he found kinship with Thor Odinson. Their friendship was forged not only on the battlefield. When the multiverse stood on the brink of annihilation due to successive incursions, Hyperion and Thor set out on a mission with almost no chance of return, fighting side by side with Sunspot multiversal Avengers. They confronted the Beyonders. The battle unfolded within the fractured void of reality, where every strike carried the potential to erase an entire universe. In the final moment, Hyperion chose to remain behind, using all of his power to hold back the enemy. When the multiverse was reborn, he returned and continued living on Earth 616. Hyperion later formed the Squadron Supreme there, striving to create a new symbol of protection. Although he eventually left the team, the image of a warrior who once stood within the void to defend reality still echoes. As an Eternal, Hyperion possesses a unique biological structure. His body absorbs cosmic radiation and converts energy from solar photons through a mechanism similar to nuclear fusion. That energy not only sustains him, but transforms him into a living reactor where power accumulates and erupts according to his will. He can lift over 100 tons without hesitation. At one point, Marcus spread his arms to hold two Earths sliding toward each other, attempting to prevent a catastrophic collision in a life or death moment. He fought the Hulk head-on until the giant green rage was forced to revert to human form. He lifted the city of Atlantis from the ocean and carried it into the sky as if its weight were only a minor challenge. Every punch from Hyperion carries the weight of a star. He can stagger Thor and has been acknowledged by the Hulk as nearly reaching the peak of his strength. Diamonds shatter in his grasp. Enemies are hurled through reinforced steel walls as if they were thin paper. A crushing embrace is enough to render Valkyrie unconscious. When Hyperion battled Wonder Man, shockwaves spread across the planet and the ground trembled as though enduring a global earthquake. He once delivered a blow powerful enough to send an Avenger flying dozens of miles, leaving the body broken upon impact. That strength is not merely a number, it is the manifestation of a soul that witnessed the collapse of its world yet still rose to protect a new reality. Hyperion's speed is equally formidable. When exerting his full power, he can move and fight continuously for 24 hours before fatigue toxins begin to accumulate in his blood. At his peak condition, he is like a star racing forward without rest, tearing through the wind and leaving shockwaves behind. Hyperion durability is even more astonishing. He can withstand devastating impacts, large caliber gunfire, temperatures hot enough to melt metal reaching 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit, and cold approaching absolute zero. Terrifying falls from extreme heights or violent energy explosions can hardly shake him. In his first confrontation with Thor, the hammer Mjolnir, reinforced with full power, struck directly into his chest. Yet, it rebounded as if hitting an invisible wall, while Hyperion remained standing without a single wound. Even so, he is not completely invulnerable. The combined atomic vision energy between him and another Hyperion once exploded directly in front of him, leaving him blind. In a weakened state, a furious beating was enough to take his life. Hyperion is composed of a form of pseudo-organic matter, not bound by aging or earth diseases. He does not require food, water, or oxygen to survive. However, immortality is not something he possesses. He can be killed if the damage exceeds his limits of endurance. He is a symbol of near absolute power, yet he still carries within himself the fragile boundary between life and death. Although renowned for remarkable durability, Hyperion does not possess perfect regenerative abilities. He can lift himself into the air and propel forward at high velocity for extended periods, reaching approximately Mach 2 at peak condition. However, he has not mastered the manipulation of graviton particles like some other versions of himself. As a result, his aerial speed and agility remain inferior. Even so, the image of him tearing through cloud layers and leaving swirling air currents behind is enough to make the sky tremble. Hyperion eyes are a terrifying weapon. He can project heat beams reaching up to 12,000 degrees Fahrenheit, sufficient to melt metal in an instant. In addition, he can emit radiation within the X-ray spectrum, allowing him to see through most matter except for particularly dense compounds such as lead. His atomic vision has not reached the same level of refinement as that other variant, a fact made clear during their final encounter when the original Hyperion beam overwhelmed the imposter. Hyperion is not a flawless, omnipotent entity. He is powerful, but not perfect. He can soar high and burn everything with his gaze, yet he must still accept that his body has limits. And perhaps for that very reason, each time he unleashes a blazing beam from his eyes, it is not merely power, but the will to refuse being overshadowed by any version of himself. A violent tear appeared between the layers of reality, ripping apart space and swallowing Ultraman into the endless void. When the multi-dimensional vortex subsided, he was hurled into an unfamiliar universe. At that very moment, Hyperion, a member of the Squadron Supreme, was patrolling in space and detected an abnormal energy source. Before him stood a massive entity radiating terrifying power. With no time to ask questions, Hyperion regarded as an extraterrestrial threat that had to be stopped. Ultraman attempted to explain that he had not come to invade, but his words vanished into the cold vacuum. Hyperion struck first. The battle erupted like two stars colliding. Ultraman enlarged his body, unleashing close combat strikes in the Ultra style along with razor-sharp energy blades. Hyperion circled at supersonic speed, probing for weaknesses before retaliating with punches carrying meteor-like force and blazing heat vision. The clash quickly descended to the surface of a planet flooded with sunlight. That light amplified Hyperion's strength, while the energy timer on Ultraman's chest began to blink, signaling his limited duration. With experience fighting monsters, Ultraman fired a precise specium ray, forcing Hyperion to step back. Yet under the blazing sun, Hyperion recovered almost instantly. The atmosphere trembled as Hyperion accelerated, moving so fast that only a faint streak of light remained. Relentless blows heated Ultraman armor to a glowing red, an energy shield rose, but the blinking rhythm on his chest grew increasingly urgent. In a final effort, Ultraman poured all his remaining power into a maximum specium ray. Hyperion shifted aside to evade and countered with atomic vision, the penetrating beam staggering Ultraman. The climax erupted within a collapsing city. The two gigantic figures charged into close combat, the ground cracking beneath every step. Hyperion seized his opponent, shot upward into the clouds, then released him from a staggering height before delivering a punch charged with accumulated solar energy. As the light on Ultraman's chest faded after 3 minutes of life and death struggle, his colossal body weakened and could no longer maintain its form. Hyperion stood amid the ruins, breathing heavily yet resolute. He believed he had just protected humanity from a grave threat. Amid the drifting smoke, Hyperion seized the moment to deliver the decisive blow, a solar-powered punch that defeated Ultraman. I hope you enjoyed this battle. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section. Follow me if you like. That is today's video. Thank you very much.